So the Buffalo Bills have once again failed to make it to the conference champion for the third year in a row. And this is honestly getting pretty sad at this point. I feel bad for the Buffalo fan base. They have such a good team every year led by Josh Allen, and then every year they end up getting disappointed. Dang, man, it really must be hard to be Bills fans, whether they were there to watch the four Super Bowls lost 4 years in a row, or now this. It never gets old with them. Now, don't get me wrong, losing the conference champion is obviously pretty bad as it is, but the Bills might be in even deeper troubles this offseason, and we're going to talk about why exactly that's going to be the case in this video. So as of the time I'm making this video right now, the Bills are going to be minus $43 million in the negative in cap space next season. And they have a number of guys who are set to hit free agency next year. Key guys such as AJ Epineza, Micah Hyde, and Gabriel Davis. Now, the reason the Bills are such in the negative in cap is obviously because of Josh Allen's massive contract extension he got 2 years ago, as they are set to have a $47 million cap hit from that contract this offseason. And for a team like the Bills, whose window isn't exactly, closed yet, but is definitely on the brink of closing, this is going to be troubling, and Josh Allen's cap hit isn't going to get any lower anytime soon. And this isn't going to change anytime soon, really, because Josh Allen's cap hit is going to continue to be in the 50 millions over the next couple seasons. So yeah, this is definitely going to be troubling for the Bills moving forward. Now, before Bills fans and some of y'all other fans run in the comments, yeah, I'm pretty aware that the Bills will most likely restructure Josh Allen and other people's contracts, but even when you restructure contracts, you're basically pushing money back and forth into the other years. So you'll still keep having trouble regardless, even if you restructure him. These contract restructures are going to be good, for the time being, but over time, they're going to keep affecting you. I mean, take a look at the Rams and the Buccaneers. After their Super Bowl victories, they restructured a number of their guys' contracts to keep a number of their other guys. And in the end, it kind of, messed them up in the end. Obviously, the Rams lost a number of their players. They had to trade Jalen Ramsey. The Buccaneers lost a number of their players as well, and a number of guys also had to walk. And even right now, the Buccaneers have a number of guys who are set to be free agents that they have to decide if they're going to pay big money for or not. Now, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty around the Bills receiving corps too. Now, Gabriel Davis will most likely be departing the Bills in free agency, but Stephon Diggs, there's a lot of uncertainty around him. Diggs was very ineffective in the last few games for the Buffalo Bills this season. His last touchdown came in November 26th against the Philadelphia Eagles. Since then, he has not scored a touchdown, and he really wasn't an effective part for the Buffalo Bills playoff games. Now, we have heard rumors that he's been disgruntled with the Buffalo Bills, and we've heard rumors that he's going to be traded eventually. Whether or not that's going to happen is, up in the air right now, but if he does get traded, that's going to be another hole that the Buffalo Bills are eventually going to have to fix. So what are the options the Buffalo Bills could possibly do? Now, I thought about the idea of trading Stephon Diggs, but I wasn't really aware how much they'll be losing and how much they'll be gaining by trading him. So basically, I did a mock trade on Sporadic, and funny enough, I did it with the Dallas Cowboys. But putting it through the website, I found out that trading Stephon Diggs is also not an option for the Buffalo Bills, as they'll just only be saving around, negative $3 million. So yeah, that's not an option right now. But there are a few options the Buffalo Bills can do in order to make up some cap space, and while it won't be a lot, there are a few. Now, obviously, the most important one, they can restructure Josh Allen, which, like I said, I do picture them doing. They can also restructure Von Miller, Stephon Diggs, and also Matt Milano. But even if they restructured all of those guys, the Bills would only be having about $1 million in cap space, at least based off this website. So those numbers could easily be much higher than what I imagine, or at least off Sporadic. So don't take my word 100% for it, but I know regardless, they'll still be able to make some money if they restructure at least one of those guys. Now, every team is going to have this issue for the most part when they get a franchise quarterback. They have to deal with the downsides of giving them a huge contract. You saw with Patrick Mahomes, they gave him a huge contract, and they had their issues with Tyreek Hill for the most part. The Bengals are going to have some issues later on, and they're probably going to have it with T. Higgins. The Chargers are currently having issues right now with their own team, with Justin Herbert after giving him a huge deal. And the Eagles, after paying Jalen Hurts, they're pretty much stuck with him until 2027, and now they're probably going to run into some issues later on with guys like Devontae Smith, for all we know. Now the Bills are going to have their situation of their own right now. The upside to this, the Bills really do not get enough credit for the development of their young talent for the most part. Matt Milano got hurt earlier in the season. Everybody thought the Bills were screwed for the most part. But Terrell Bernard stepped up big time, and he's been one of the Bills' best defensive players to this point. Khalil Shakir, who had to step up big time by the way in the divisional round, has also been a very good player for them for the most part. Christian Benford as well has also been pretty solid for them for the most part, especially with the absence of Tre'Davious White. So with that being said, if the Bills can hit on some of their draft picks and maybe pick up a few players from free agency somehow, this team might not be totally screwed and they may have a chance next year. But like I said, with Aaron Rodgers coming back for the Jets and also the Dolphins continuously getting better, yeah, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for them, especially with the AFC being as stacked as it is next year. And that is why the question has recently come up on if the Bills window is truly closing or is it already closed. But there's definitely going to be an interesting offseason for the Buffalo Bills this offseason. How will they address all these issues? Well, we just gotta wait to find out. As they're currently going through the crisis that every team who is trying to go after a championship will go through, the cap space issue. Saints had it. The Bucks had it, the Rams had it. So many teams went through it, and now the Buffalo Bills are going to be one of those teams going through it. Also, the Bengals are currently going through it, and the Chargers, just like I said earlier. But like I said, it'll be interesting off season for the Buffalo Bills, and I'm eager to see how this pan out.